Hey folks, how's it going? Sorry, it's been a hot minute. Honestly, there wasn't a lot going on for a week or so. It was the same stuff. So I know this is our first construction update since the announcement of the track layout and the name. Tormenta is very exciting. I'm very happy about it. So I think they're going to have a real home run here. Honestly, I'm not going to do a lot of updates anymore on the staging yard. It's a quick flyover here. The pieces coming in are still in the same numbering range. I think we did get some questions answered though on how many pieces the track is, which we'll have that update here in a second. A lot of supports, and there's famous piece number 103, which is going to make a reappearance here in a minute. But there's just a lot of stuff going on here. So let's fly over to the site. I love this. Is a very windy day. You can see the wind from the construction caution tape floating in the wind there. But no, these pylon caps. A lot of pylon caps going in. Most of the piers are done. There is still some more piers to be dug. It looked like. This is from 2 weeks ago, by the way. The date on this flight right here was, I think it was October 2nd or October 5th, something like that. October 5th. So this was a couple of weeks ago. I thought that was fascinating. You got one footer going in, a huge pylon cap there. Usually I thought these pylon caps were going to have multiple footers on them. But that one was just one. This is very different for B&M, quite honestly. I don't think I've ever seen any B&Ms that have this many of these quad footers. So something's changed in their engineering. Also, the Conquistador, it's gone. I don't know if you caught it in the intro, but we're going to have an update on that here in a second as well. Some pylon caps there ready to go. There's piece number 1 up there that... if you got a chance to make it out to the announcement, you were allowed to sign one of the ends. It was a lot of fun. I signed the front side of that track, so yeah. So here you got the transfer track. You got the first piece of track right there. It looked like it was going to be the first piece of track. It did not end up being the first piece of track, but you got a lot of supports installed there for the station, which we knew that was going to be the station when we saw it. It is going to come out and go around to the left. All those questions got answered. But the top left, the little mini pond right there, that needs to be the base of the lift hill. The 45-degree angle concrete, which B&Ms are famous for. The lift hill, basically the spine connects to a 45 degree piece of concrete, and that has not been formed up. So they have not done any kind of, they always start with a lift hill. So, okay, let's make this a quick flight around here. I was trying to do a new mapping, so I think this is going to be better. Now that we kind of know the layout of Tormenta, we can do maybe some more interesting flights, because I kind of know where things are going to go now. So this will make a quick little lap. Obviously, I only fly when the park's closed for obvious reasons. You should never fly your drone over populated areas. So yeah, mapping this out. No construction is going on, so I'm not interfering with anyone's work. That would be very uncool to do. Let's fast forward a week. Now we're up to October 12th here. I thought this was interesting because I noticed some of the mid-course brake run brakes had come through here. I think that was the mid-course brake run. It doesn't have a label on it. Kind of zoomed in there. I didn't see anything. But over here on the right, I thought was interesting. That's not part of Tormenta. What is that? Oh, wait. That's the Conquistador. They took the boat off, but they kept the structure right there. So they threw out all the metal. There's the top, the famous top of the Conquistador, in the trash. Rest in peace. But, things have a service life. Obviously, if it was worth saving, they would have. Manitowoc cranes are very famous. I think A Man's Walk is what put together the Rangers ballpark. They're known for their heavy lifting. So you got a lot of pieces of the crane have come in. I think there's some more track there, some twisty pieces. Yes. Piece number 6, 7. Sorry, I had to. And piece number 86. Not nearly as exciting. But hey, I found piece number 6, 7. If you have a teenager, you know what I mean. Okay, anyway, you got, I thought that piece right there, that support piece was very interesting because it's going to go with the nodule down. You can obviously see where it's going to connect to the concrete. So then you have 2 pieces pointing down from there. That's going to be interesting. I don't know why they just didn't make it one piece and why you have those other 2 connections, but some reason. But yeah, just flying over all the supports, some even more supports came in. That just gives you an idea of how big this thing's going to be. I still think they're missing quite a bit of track, probably a third of the track. If 103 is the last piece, spoiler alert, I think it is. Which I was kind of worried it was. And that's another thing, by the way. I think from I learned watching these construction. Let's fly over to the site and take a look. Yeah, but from watching all the construction, I think with B&Ms, they deliver the pieces in order of what you need them. Your supports, generally everything you need, they kind of make it in order of what you need it. They have the manual from B&M of how you have to assemble it, and they do those pieces first. So that's kind of why you're seeing certain things in weird orders. And I was kind of worried about that because I know that Claremont Steel will, pre-test every piece with its other piece that goes next to it to make sure before they ship it. And I was thinking 103 might have been tested with the station, and that's kind of why they shipped it. But hey, here you see a lot of the piers going in the ground for the Emmelman. We have a station, and even more interestingly, we have a lift hill base. So by October 12th, they had formed the lift hill base. The station has been assembled, it looks like here. The transfer track is there where you will load and unload, and then the first piece out of the station. But more interestingly, that's a lot of concrete, man. I don't know how big that thing is. But, it's like 20 feet by 20 feet maybe. So if it's 20 feet by 20 feet by 4 feet deep, that's, 6 concrete trucks, or 6 loads of concrete, maybe 60 yards. I don't know. I would have to count it up, but yeah, it's a little bit of money. But you see all the bolts there where the lift hill will attach to that base plate right there. And here you see the transfer track, which is always good to do first because then you can start worrying about wiring and get your station built. And here you see the coming out of the station going around to the left, and between where the lift starts and that other concrete block, those pieces right there is probably where the motor goes. And it's got to be a big lift motor. Also, I noticed that Flume 2 is going here at the bottom, which was kind of interesting to see a Flume 2 running on October 12th. But Fright Fest is popular, and it was a lot of fun. I was up there last week, and the lines were insanely long. Very disappointing, but it was still a lot of fun. I think my daughter had the most fun around the gunfighting area. I thought those characters were the best around there. You see the little notches they put for the footers. Those are where the footers will actually go into the concrete there and bolt on. So that's why you have that nodule on the bottom of every piece that attaches to concrete. This is a corrosion prevention thing. But yeah, Not sure what else there is to say about all this. Probably could have sped it up a little bit, I guess, huh? Yeah, you see the transfer track. You see the the brake run right there. A lot more of those quad pier pylon caps, I should call them. Start to see where the lift hill is going to go right through there. I bet you that tree, I don't know if that tree is going to stay or not. It might be out of the way, but it might not. Well, maybe we should take some comments at the bottom if that tree gets to stay or not. You think they would have already removed it if they were going to, but sure does look like it's awful close. Yeah, it's fun to kind of see the layout now. You see the bottom to there. I think it's interesting, too, that they got 3 of the 4 piers and pylon caps on, but there's one there that for some reason they're leaving. They haven't finished that one. Maybe they're letting it cure longer. I don't know. Some heavy lift cranes there to put the brake run on. That pylon cap right there had room for 3 footers. We still don't have a lot of pylon caps. There's still numerous things missing in this area from a concrete perspective. I think one of the commenters last week had mentioned that you don't finish some of them, you don't drill some of them until the cranes are out of the way, because you don't want them to. Some of you just can't do it yet because you have to get the lift hill built first and then come back in and do some more of it. But yeah, nothing else on the Conquistador after that week, but. That there appears to be some of the walkway next to the brake run, in case you had to unload early. Here's the whole lift hill right here, though. You see the crane starting to be assembled down below. I thought that was fascinating that they assembled the crane and they had a working, small version of the crane before they went and put the rest of it on. It looks like a small crane right there, but wait a week and it won't. Here in about 2 minutes, we'll get to the following week. Yeah, you can still see some more piers that have to be drilled, though. There's still some more of the pier tube, the steel tubes there that they're building out, and that they're setting up all that rebar. Maximum. I have no idea why it says maximum and said Manitowoc on the other things, but there's the on the right hand side there. You see the pylon cap with just another single support right there. So obviously that is supporting a lot of weight. It's probably one of the massive support sections. Yeah, just taking a more look at the crane here. Probably could have edited some of this out, but honestly, I just try to get these videos out for everyone to enjoy, and yeah, everyone fast forwards anyways. But yeah, so there you go. Kind of see the site here from the side. The crane looks small here, but just give it another week. This is kind of why I was putting all these updates in 1 week, because there's a lot going on here, and I think by next week it was a lot more exciting. There's another big, the pylon cap down there is probably for the turnaround. And you have the littler supports there, probably for after the mid-course brakes, I would think, if I remember right from the layout. It's also kind of funny that you need a crane to assemble a crane, but that's actually very common. Some cranes can assemble themselves, but I don't think this is one of those. That's more for the tower cranes. But yeah, one last look here at the base of the lift hill. Probably could have edited some of this down. Sorry. Thanks for sticking with me. I was trying to get this done quickly. It's been a busy week for me. When you have a high school daughter and it's football season, you stay busy. So we'll call that a wrap for the week of 10/12 over here. We'll do the fly around to end that week, and then I'll be back here in a second, and we'll have the week of 10/19. So see you in a second. All right, let's fast forward a week. Now we've moved forward here to last Sunday, the 19th. Not a lot changed in the staging yard. A lot of supports. I'd like to think most of those supports are in. It seems like supports have been what was delivered more than track pieces the last few weeks. Haven't really noticed any new supports or new track pieces being delivered. Just flying through this real quickly here. Like I said, I'll probably stop doing these updates simply because stop doing at least the staging yard, because this is way more important right here. And oh my God, that thing looks amazing. Mad props to all the people working on that thing, because it really is something to behold. Cranes are fascinating, magnificent machines, and kind of scary at the same time. But yeah, so taking a look here now, we have the brake run on a week later. So the brake run and the sides of the brake run, everything is put on in the last piece of track before the brake run. This is where I was trying to decide, how could I read the... What piece of track is that? Is that really 103 by chance? So I had to take a sneak peek at that. Look at that, we have some concrete. The concrete for the base of the lift hill has been poured, and they've even gotten the area graded and all the forms removed and cleaned up, and you have a support piece for the turnaround right there out of the station. All installed this week. It's looking good, looking real good. Probably want to let that cure for a week or so before they start building the lift hill, but I would expect I would expect the lift hill to be showing signs by Halloween. So looking pretty good here to get into the lift hill. And I think once they get into that lift hill, it's going to shockingly go fast. Who knows? Maybe this week they did. But yeah, you totally see how everything's going to go right there. You see the front of the lift hill, and it's ready for some iron workers here, I think, at this point. So much respect to all the iron workers working on this, because it's a dangerous and cool job. Hopefully you have good weather the rest of the year to erect this. I always have mad respect for the tradesmen, because it's a commonly overlooked job. Hopefully you get a lot of satisfaction out of seeing your work at the end, though. Let's see what else changed this week. More of the these quad, very different. I mean, there's no BM like this out there. Like I said, I know like Orion and Fury have like one kind of quad pylon cap, but they have multiple supports on it. Having this many of the quad pylon caps is very unusual. Unless someone else knows one, you can tell me about it, but I had to go get a new battery. But yeah, I love that shot when I was flying over. Shows you how big and massive that crane really looks. But yeah, here's just another view of the that brake run, which is like the longest, steepest brake run ever. By the way, I think that brake run is as tall as the La Vibora was. But yeah, so you think that the mid-course brake is going to be way above this, and then the lift hill way above that. This thing's going to be massive. It's obviously going to change the skyline. Pretty exciting. Here you got some more piers that have been poured, curing, waiting for their pylon caps. Exciting stuff. I think we're all ready for more vertical. A lot more. This is obviously the part for the Emmelman, and you knew there was going to be more piers down here eventually because of the way that they fenced everything off, and sure enough, there you go. Coming back here, here's where I wanted to take a look to see what piece that was. Is that really piece number 103? That was the last piece we saw, and it had to be numbered with the highest number. So I was trying to zoom in, and I'm not flying this close, by the way. I'm zooming. I have a 28x zoom capabilities, and that's why the screen gets a little freaky. But sure enough, there's your piece number 103. So confirmation that it's 103 pieces. Kind of disappointing, but 4,200 feet. Hey, we were right. It's going to be over 4,000 feet. I think from the physics aspect, I was a little disappointed in the 285-foot drop, and I think that's why it was only 4,200 feet. If you would have gone with a 300-foot drop, that extra 15 feet drop would have added a lot more energy. And that amount of energy would have probably necessitated 4,500, 4,700, somewhere along in there, track feet. They're already kind of cheating on the brake run, but I think we'll forgive them. So, let's call it a week. I think I'll see y'all next week. I'll be out there again this weekend to record some more, and let's see what work they've got done. Here's your last circle for the week.